police have arrested this man, Timothy George Simpkins. He's suspected of injuring 4 people after opening fire after a fight at a Dallas area high school. Simpkins was taken into custody hours later and is being held on 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Now, this comes on the heels of another Texas school shooting that took place less than a week ago in Houston.
Been far too many of these at far too many schools, and so we are grateful for the courage and the heroism of the first responders, and we are hopeful that all of the students or individuals who may have been injured will come through and survive.
And joining me now to discuss just that and more, why are we seeing more school shootings? The president of the National Association of Black Law Enforcement at the Georgia chapter, Rafiq Ahmad. Rafiq, it's a pleasure to have you and welcome to BNC Live, sir. So Senator Ted Cruz said it. We're seeing far too many school shootings at far too many schools. Why are we seeing an increase in school shootings, sir?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And that question is probably a multi-layered question. Obviously, the accessibility of guns is a problem. But then we no longer teach in schools conflict resolution or communication skills. So I think there's a combination of issues, but the accessibility, readily accessibility of firearms is absolutely at the top of that.
That's a great point. I remember when I was in high school, we had mediators. If there was an issue, you'd sit down with the mediator, you and the other person, and you'd hash it out. Do you think that's something that needs to be brought back, perhaps?
Yes, I think that in situations like this, in 2021, we just saw a hearing, I think, a couple of days ago in reference to Facebook. But social media is such a prevalent presence in the lives of our kids now. That a lot of what's going on as far as conversations are taking place virtually, and so it doesn't lend itself to conflict resolution, but it's certainly something that we should strongly consider bringing back, because the ability for young people to be able to resolve conflicts in a way that doesn't result in an argument or an altercation is essential to stop combating violence in our schools.
It was illegal for the suspect to possess or even to purchase that gun used in yesterday's incident. Texas did enact a permitless gun law that went into effect last month. I believe it was September 1st. In your opinion, could this law have eased the suspect's ability to actually obtain a firearm that was used, even though the law states you're supposed to be 21 years old?
No, that's a great question. I got my start, cut my teeth, in fact, at 18 years old with ATF. That was my first federal job, and it was one of the jobs that we did at ATF is to try to prevent firearms from getting into the hands of people who were not supposed to possess them. So yes, this young man was not supposed to possess a handgun because he was 18. But I just think the accessibility of firearms is a problem in and of itself. So I don't know if that law would impact this, but certainly the cavalier way in which we discuss firearms and who should possess firearm. You mentioned Texas having a law where people can possess guns without a permit. That certainly I don't think helps us in situations.
My other question for you is, since you said that you got your start with the ATF, did I hear that correctly, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
They were on site yesterday. Why would they have been involved in a school shooting? What role would they play in an investigation like this?
ATF can play a vital role in many of these shootings, and I'm certainly not speaking for the agency because I'm not employed by them anymore. But having done so, one of the things that ATF is going to do is to trace the firearm and try to find out where that gun actually came from, how that young man came into possession of that firearm, and also whether that firearm was used in the commission of any other crimes. So ATF definitely can play a vital role, and that's why you see them participation in many of the shootings like that, is because of their ability to be able to perform that very function.
All right, Rafiq, thank you so much, sir.